Boa tarde, mundo. It has just gone 1 o'clock and I'm out the house with Eden and Story. We're going for a little walk around the village. It's quite a nice day today. It hasn't rained and it's quite warm. I've got my coat on. Don't really need it. It's nice. Sheep's grazing in the field over there. We can see these sheep from our kitchen window. Eden didn't get to go out yesterday, so I thought I'd give her a nice walk now, get her out and stretch her legs. And it's good for us to all be getting some fresh air. Story was a really good girl last night. I put her in her crib for bedtime at 6 o'clock, which is quite early, but she'd had her bottle and looked a bit sleepy, so I put her down and she didn't wake up until 4:30 in the morning. She'd done a full 10.5-hour stretch, which was lovely. She woke up, I gave her her bottle, she drank it with no problems, was back in her crib again at 5 and she slept until 8:30, so that was very nice. You're being a good girl for mummy, aren't you? I had a long chat with Jay on Skype last night, and he spent most of the day yesterday at the hospital with his dad and his mum and his family. He had quite an emotional day. He actually vlogged a little bit on his phone. I told him that he didn't have to, but he said he wanted to, so here is a few clips of Jay's day yesterday.
Good morning world. Today I'm travelling from Porto to Stansted in London to go back to England to see my dad in hospital. Took the early morning flight, quite tired. My brother is picking me up from the airport. He's going to come get me in his new car. Weather's quite nice at the moment, not too bad for England. Gonna head to the hospital in London where my dad is to see how he's doing. Hopefully he's getting better. Needless to say, I never thought this was going to be an easy thing to do. Walking into the hospital, I didn't quite know what to expect.
You've still got some strength there.
My brothers and my mum had told me that Dad was getting weaker, but until you actually see things for yourself, you never know how you're going to feel. I had intended on recording the moment when I first saw Dad, but as soon as I saw him lying there in the hospital bed, I couldn't do it. I had to put the phone down. I needed to be there in the moment, and I just needed to see him. He looked like he was very, very upset with where he was, but when he saw me, his eyes opened really wide and he was so happy to see me, and it just made every effort that it took for us to get me here for this day worth it. And I'm so glad that I've come to see him, even though he's in the hospital. I don't want to go into too many details about my dad's actual condition because we don't know 100% ourselves, but the doctors are doing everything they can to try and see if he can be healed in whatever way possible. But because of his age, we don't really know the outcome. We don't know how long he's going to have to stay in here for. Last night when we said goodbye, he was on a blood transfusion drip. They had him on an oxygen machine. He gestured to take off the mask and so he could speak, and he just said to me, "You're coming back tomorrow, right? You're coming back tomorrow." And I said, "Yeah, of course, I'm here to see you." But he was like, "Just, you just make sure you come back tomorrow." So it's now the next day. I've rented a car from the airport because I need to be able to take my mum around. Both my brothers working and they aren't available all day, whereas I'm here only for this purpose. I'm gonna go and get my mum, and we're just gonna go and see him again and just make sure he's got company, because the hospital is not a nice place to be spending your time when you're trying to recover, surrounded by other sick people, and I just want to be there for him. So I'm leaving the airport now and I'm gonna go and see my mum.
Sure, you could get like a small car with 10k, couldn't you?
Get a decent car for 10k.
When I first found out that my dad was getting ill, my initial thought was, I'm really glad that he came out to see Story when she was first born. If he'd have waited until now, then he would have been too weak to walk around and come see my house and everything. A matter of months can make such a difference. Sometimes a matter of weeks, depending on what you're going through. When we realised that Story's passport wasn't going to be ready in time, and I had to come back just on my own, it got me thinking about how much of an important year this is. If my dad could see it through, get better, he's going to see so much change in his granddaughter. Now that my brother's also having a baby, he'd also get to see another grandchild, which is a huge thing. And it's not that far off. So I had to come back to see him. I had to see if I could do anything within my power to help encourage him to get better. Encouragingly, from the first day that I arrived back until now, he has improved a little bit. That's really positive. I don't think I'm going to be here still in England by the time Dad gets out of hospital, but at least I've managed to see that some progress has been made in the right direction.
It's your birthday month. This month, she's looking at you through a little pillow.
So for now, I'm just going to hold on to that.
Get the other one now. Oh, it's difficult because my hands are not great. Oh.
In the pie.
So it's a very sad time, and I feel very bad that I'm not there to support Jay and be with him and help him through it. It's not a nice feeling, but I just hope that they know, even though I'm not there, that Baju's in my thoughts every day, and they all are, and just there's not much I can do without Story's passport, so we're just doing what we can. Okay, back home, and I'm going to make myself a green juice. Okay, got my green juice. Story is having a nap. I didn't even get to take her out of her jacket because she started to fall asleep on the walk in the sling, and I didn't want to take her jacket off when I got in here in case I woke her up, so she looks nice and cosy though. Just let Eden out into the garden. I just managed to have a chat with Jay on Skype, and he's doing okay. He was just off to the hospital. Story's still napping, and I'm just sitting on the step here getting a bit of warmth. Have an update on the Mazda situation, and that's not looking too great either. The lady phoned me with the total cost of the job, and it's going to cost €1,050 to fix, and it's going to take about 3 days for them to get the part. So it looks like we're going to have to keep this Punto for a couple more days after Jay gets back until we can get our Bluey Caro back on the road. It's a bit of a difficult time, but we're doing what we always do, one step at a time, and each day as it comes, and just getting through it. There's always more than one thing to deal with at a time, it seems. But that's just life, isn't it, I guess? Lots of things are going on all the time, everywhere. I'm hoping for a positive update from Jay later, and the go-ahead has been given for the work to begin on the Mazda. So we'll be back to normal in no time, hopefully. The village has been so quiet today. I think I've seen one tractor go by, and that's about it. I can hear some sheep baaing. Let's check the temperature. It does feel really nice out here. I had to put a jumper on it for in the house though, because it was getting quite chilly in there. 18 degrees, that's quite nice. I'm gonna go back in and make a coffee, I think. I went for a lemon tea instead. What's happening? Hey? Dory woke up from her nap and we're doing some playtime, aren't we? And some tummy time on your mat. I've put the mat down that Dawn gave us the other day. It's really nice. You blend in a bit today, don't you? It kind of matches your clothes. Good girl. Keep your head up. Hi, Story. Hi. She's quite happy down here, having a little kick around. I have switched mats and she's now on her bear play mat, having a look at her dangly toys. A little bit of time has passed and the sun's beginning to set now. It is winding down for the daytime. Story's still being a happy little girl in her chair. She's gurgling away there, having a little chat. She's got about another hour or so before I put her down for bed. Oopsie. Okay, little girl is dressed and ready for bed. We did have a bit of a poo explosion that needed my urgent attention, but she managed to stay in the same clothes throughout the whole day today. We didn't need to do a clothes change until right at the last minute, and she was going in her sleep suit anyway, so that's all good. And she's down. I am going to heat up my dinner now. Last night I made a chickpea, leek and potato soup, so I don't actually have to do any cooking tonight because I've done it all yesterday, which is lovely. I almost didn't make dinner yesterday because it was weird cooking for myself. I very rarely have to cook for one person, and it started getting later and later and I was like, oh, I'm not really that hungry, maybe I just won't bother, but I decided in the end that that was silly and I made a nice healthy soup, which was actually very delicious, so I'm looking forward to round 2 of it tonight. And here it is, just going to heat that up nice and easy. I have to admit it is rather weird being here at night when Jay's not here. It's okay during the day, but now, I mean, it's 7:15 and it feels strange. Last night it was a bit difficult going to bed for me because I didn't want to, so I kept putting it off and didn't want to turn out the light. I mean, that's just so silly, but yeah, my mind was just overdrive of things, so I went to bed eventually. But it is a bit weird at night time in the dark being here. And it's done. I am going to end the vlog for today now. I'm just going to eat my soup. I'm still editing for tomorrow's vlog, so I need to get that done before I go to bed, and then I'm going to try and get an early night because I have a headache. So please hit the thumbs up button for me and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.